When parents use kids to win their own battles, are you pushing your son or daughter into a specific field, whether it be sports, entertainment, some type of career that you wanted to get into and you weren't able to do for whatever reason, and now you're using your son or daughter as your escape through that? Because I seen this video and I was like, man, this needs to be addressed, because you see all these little kids out here playing football, basketball, just just looking like they just know that they're going to the league and just having all these false aspirations. I see taking my son to go, he's playing basketball now, and I see fathers say, oh, he's good, he's good. Man, good compared to what? Good compared to what? To these little kids now who can barely dribble and pass the no. Man, I'm really gonna break this down and let you see that it's okay if your kids don't make it to the NBA, or if they don't get a D1 offer. They can do other things and stop living your dreams out through them. But I want you to check out this video first.
Your dad seeing you win is hard to see?
A lot of people, my dad included, but he's the top of the spear. Growing up, my dad worked hard. He was a hard and working man. I know he wanted the best for me, right? I want you to win. You're the one, Dion. Go ahead and do it. Da 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 da. But now that I'm in the position, it's almost like you wanted me to be in the position because you didn't do it. And now that I'm in the position, you want to control me like a puppet and make me do everything that you could have did, right? Or everything that you wish you could have did, instead of just taking it into the chin like, my son made it, I'm going to help him in any way that I can and not bring nothing that I had with me to solve my problems and to solve her problems and his and cousin and his and uncle and auntie and this and all these problems. But instead, I'm proud of you, son, which he never says. I'm proud of you, son. I love you, son. You did it. Great job. But we got to do this. Oh, this needs to be paid for. This needs to be done. As a man, but that hurts, right? And that hurts. Now, when I think of the word survivor's remorse, that's where my mind goes to. I made it, but now am I a slave because I made it?
Damn.
Right? Am I a slave now because I've made it? And time will always tell. And it's not to say that he's wrong, but the men that my culture has been raised from, they've been damaged from who they've been raised from. And we're a product of them. For example, I have a therapist. I speak about my rights. I speak about my wrongs. I speak about how to love. I speak about females. I speak about their emotions. I understand the parts of life that make life, our generation. And y'all not old, but there's a generation step, a little gap, right? Y'all are still the OGs, but it goes, y'all, then it goes, then it goes, and now we got the babies, the Jaden Daniels, fresh, it's a whole different course. These guys got NILs, they don't know nothing what we went through. I'm using that as an example of who I was raised from and what I was cultured by and my life of what I'm a product of, and they were damaged, so now they don't know how to break that damage, and now it's falling over.
It's a lot to unpack there. But I could do a whole video on just that video. But number one, he says something very important. You never tell your son that you're proud of him. He's made it all the way to be a professional, being paid to play a sport, and you never tell him that you're proud of him. That's what he wants to hear. Is it too much to ask to do that? Are you too proud or jealous or whatever it may be that you can't tell him that you're proud of him? You're just telling him, oh, we need to pay this person. We need to take care of this person. Man, that's his money. He don't have to do nothing for nobody, not even you. So a lesson to your sons, to men with sons and daughters that playing sports. Tell them you're proud of them, whether they have a good game or a bad game, whether they're the star of the team or they're riding the bench. Tell them you're proud of them. And the second thing I want to talk about in that, a lot of times younger guys talk about the older men and say that they're the way they are because of the man that raised them or didn't raise them. And a lot of times we take offense to that. You can't. We got to stop trying to take offense to that because it's true. It's true. It's true. They are who they are, or what they aren't because of us. We weren't there for the ones that weren't there. If we were there, we weren't worth a damn. That's why they're the way they are. Just like he's saying, his father, this man has made it all the way to the NFL. He's doing well. He's getting paid. He's one of the best in the league. And you still don't tell this man that you're proud of him. That's the one thing he wanted to hear. He might not have a problem doing these other things as much if you told him you was proud of him and gave him his props and treated him like a man. So if you take anything from that video, tell your kids that you're proud of them when they do something well. You owe them that. You owe them that. They need to hear that. You know, all this old school trauma and all this, man. Look, it's time. It's time out for that, man. It's time out for that. If you want your kids to be great, then you treat them great. But I saw this video on Cam Newton's podcast that Nuri Muhammad did, and it also gave another layer to this because it's okay if your children do not become this huge success in this thing in sports or whatever, whether it's entertainment or whatever, you're trying to force them down this road that you couldn't make it at. Check this out.
Remember the D League? They call it the G League now. For NBA, first started, that's developmental league. They was bringing the young soldiers through to get them prepared for the NBA. The first year or second year, Magic Johnson was their speaker. Listen to what he said. He said, I want to teach you brothers how to take the brain you built in basketball and use it for business.
Yes, Lord.
I don't think he's been invited back. But he should be there every time, because all that is transmutation, is changing discipline. One of our impediments as a people is, number one, we celebrate athletics more than we do academics for our children. That's bad math. The other thing is we put our children in the sports, and so do white people. But white people put their children in sports to extract the principles from it, and we put our children in sports to become a professional at it.
Listen.
And whenever they go in and we go in, they too are in the little league. They too are in Pop Warner. They there. But because they're going in there to extract principles from it, if they don't make it to the NBA or the NFL, they take the sacrifice they learned, the discipline, the hard work, the working through fatigue, the teamwork, the categorization of personal life problems and still being able to perform a task, and they take that to their law firm or their insurance agency or their dental office, and they just take discipline over there with them and become great in that. But we got our mind wrapped up 100%. If I'm going to the league, I'm going to the league, I'm going to the league, I'm going to be in the NFL, I'm going to be, and if it don't happen, now you got a brother with a broken spirit. Right now, Brother Cam, there's 500,000 black boys playing high school basketball. Only 17,000 of them will actually make it to college to play basketball.
On a scholarship.
And on a scholarship. And out of them 17,000, only 44 of them will make it to the NBA. And out of the 44 that make it to the NBA, only 7 of them will get a starting position. And the average career of the one that did get a starting position is only 5 to 7 years. So there's 500,000 black boys competing for 7 full-time jobs that ain't gonna last for 7 years.
It's heavy.
I don't know, that's bass awkward. You ain't catch that.
Bad cycles.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
So we have to, what your brother's saying, he's telling you, but this is a universal message we all need to know.
No, for sure.
If you became proficient in any sport, you have a greater calling on your life, and you can take that discipline that you use and all the principles from it and go into anything and be a master of it. And if you find
it's messed up. It's messed up. It's bad math. But that's what we do a lot of times. That's what we do as fathers, sometimes mothers. We do that. You got 500,000 boys competing for 7 jobs. Why would you do that to your kid? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your son? Why would you? Now, once they make it, I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this, what Jeff Teague said. Once they make it, I want you to listen to this.
You gotta have a strong mental to play in NBA. Because you gotta think you risking your whole life, kinda. Like, cause you get put in this bubble where you making so much money, but you really don't know how to do anything else. Cause your whole focus is being a basketball player. So once they take basketball away from you, or if you don't make it, no matter you played, try to make it to the league a couple years, you did the G League, went overseas, you do this whole journey for 10, 12 years, and then when it's over, it's like, oh, what the fuck I do next? So you kind of looking kind of goofy a little bit, like, especially if you weren't blessed to make like a lot of money in that span. Like if you was like a guy that was making, for 10 years you played and you made 3 or 4 million. To the normal world, it's like, yeah, you good. Start your life, you got a cool life, but you don't really know what else to do after that. Because all you ever knew was basketball for 26 straight years.
He said it. He said it. He's heard it from an NBA player that they don't know when you force your kids into this and they practice, they doing 2-a-days, they doing all this, they just focusing their whole life on basketball or football or baseball, whatever sport it is, or some type of entertainment. They don't know how to do anything else. They don't know how to do anything else. And some people might say, "Oh, well, $3 or $4 million, that's a lot of money." You can blow $3 or $4 million. Hell, if Justin Bieber blew $500 million or $1 billion, you can blow 2 or 3 million. Easy. If he blew $500 million or $1 billion, you can blow 2 or 3 million. Nothing. It's easy. So this is what you're doing when you're just tunnel vision that I'm going to, they're going to be a basketball player. They're going to play football. They're going to do this, and they don't know how to do anything else. This is what you're doing to your children. And it's not fair to them. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to them. And a lot of times, if your parents aren't around, if your mother and father isn't around, or they're not making you focus somewhat on your academics or asking you other things you like to do, you'll do it to yourself as a kid. You'll do it to yourself as a kid. You'll do it to yourself as an adult. Don't waste years. Don't let your children waste years on just focusing on entertainment or just focusing on sports. No, make them do other things. I have a friend, his son is in his early 20s and he's a plumber. Do you know how needed his services will be for the next 20, 30, 40 years of his life? And how much money he can make doing that skill? I would much prefer my son to be doing that than be trying to play basketball or being a rapper or something. Hey man, if you want to do that on the side, cool. But the smart thing is to find something, like I tell my son, find a problem that people need to fix. Find a problem that people need fixing. Find a problem that people need help at. And you can make money. Don't try to create a demand. Don't try to create a demand. Don't try to find some new thing. No, find something that has a demand already and then just navigate it. Just push it in the direction that you want it to go. Too many times people want to say, "Oh, I'm going to start a clothing brand. I'm going to start this." Does anybody want that? But see, we try to do things I'm not. We try to in our community, in the black community, we try to do things that are sexy. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to make content about this. This is boring. I don't want to do this or that. But that's what's selling. That's what's going to sell. Find something that people need instead of trying to create this new thing. Yeah, we're good at that, but that doesn't always work. That's what other communities do better than us. We're too busy trying to create this new thing instead of finding what people need. Solve problems. See all the problems that need to be solved and try to start solving them. Have your kids think about that. That's what I tell my son. Think about problems that you see every day, that you talk to your friends about it, or people talk about, and try to solve problems. That's how you become wealthy. But too many times we try to do the sexy thing. We try to do the thing, we want to be famous and all that. My best friend, his son is a plumber. He doesn't have to. There are no famous plumbers, all right? There aren't any. But he has a skill that's going to be needed very much so in the upcoming future, just because of the demand. A lot of people don't want to do this thing. They want to do other things. A lot of young people, they don't want to do anything. But this young man went out and learned the skill, and he's going to be successful because of it. But one last thing I want to say, I want to show you.
Let's say your son goes to the NFL or the NBA. They make millions. Do they owe you? But you funded his basketball stuff growing up. You bought him his first basketball. You put him in these AAU basketball leagues. You're the reason why he's in the NBA. Does he owe you?
Your kids don't owe you for nothing, homie. Whatever you pour into your children, there's no return check on that. They don't owe you for that. They don't grow up and do nothing for you. They don't owe you nothing. They didn't ask to come here. Your children are a result of your choices. So they don't owe you nothing. You owe it to them to make sure they are better than you.